Today, almost all of us turn to YouTube whenever we want to learn something, fix something, get entertained, or even just pass time. It has become a platform that feels like a second home for knowledge and creativity. From cooking recipes to lectures from world-class universities, from comedy shows to motivational speeches, YouTube offers everything in just a click. But have you ever thought about how this all started? Have you ever wondered that this giant platform, which feels so natural in our daily life, did not appear in one single step? YouTube is a story of vision, risk, and opportunity. The way it grew can teach us many lessons about persistence, timing, and believing in an idea even when no one else does. The journey began back in 2005 when three young men, Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim, who were former employees of PayPal, started thinking about how difficult it was to share videos online. At that time, internet was much slower than today, social media was not so advanced, and uploading or streaming videos was a technical headache. They realized that if there could be a simple website where anyone could upload and share a video easily, it could change the way people communicate. They were not completely sure whether it would work, but they had an instinct that video is the future. This instinct became the seed of what later grew into YouTube. The first ever video uploaded was a casual clip called Me at the Zoo, recorded by Jawed Karim at the San Diego Zoo. It was only a few seconds long, and nothing extraordinary. Yet it marked the beginning of a revolution. Slowly, people started testing the platform, uploading random clips of their life events and funny moments. What made YouTube different was its simplicity. You did not need to be a tech expert. You did not need expensive software. You just needed a camera and an internet connection. This opened the door for millions of ordinary people to become creators. Within a few months, the word spread quickly. Users began to realize they could share personal stories, showcase talents, and even build communities around their interests. For the first time, video was no longer controlled by television networks or film studios. It was in the hands of everyday people. And that sense of freedom was extremely powerful. Young artists uploaded songs, teachers uploaded lessons, travelers uploaded experiences. YouTube was becoming more than just a website. It was turning into a new culture. Of course, like every beginning, there were challenges. The founders had limited resources. They were unsure how to handle the growing traffic, and they still had no clear way of making money from the service. But despite all doubts, they kept moving forward. This persistence, combined with the excitement of the growing user base, pushed YouTube into the spotlight. And what started as a small experiment by three friends was slowly becoming one of the fastest-growing websites in the world. As YouTube kept growing, people were surprised at how quickly it was becoming a part of daily life. By late 2005, millions of videos were being uploaded, and traffic was rising beyond the founders' expectations. Users from different countries started to join. For the first time, a single video could cross borders and be watched by people thousands of miles away. This sense of global connection made YouTube unique. A teenager in the United States could watch the life of a family in Japan, while a musician in India could share songs with listeners in Europe. The platform was not just about entertainment anymore. It was opening doors to a new kind of communication. But with rapid growth came technical challenges. The servers were overloaded, video quality was inconsistent, and sometimes the site even crashed because it could not handle the heavy demand. The founders struggled to keep the platform alive. They were spending more money than they had to manage bandwidth and storage. Investors started noticing the buzz, but many still doubted if such a free video website could ever make profit. In the business world, skepticism was strong. Yet the team behind YouTube believed that if they could keep growing the audience, solutions would follow. They focused on improving user experience, making the upload process even simpler, and adding small features like comments, sharing, and playlists. These changes may sound basic today, but back then they felt revolutionary. People had never seen a platform where interaction around videos was so easy. The culture of virality was born. One funny clip could spread to millions within days, making unknown people suddenly famous. Creators realized they could build loyal audiences. They did not need to go through television or radio anymore. Around this time, big companies also started paying attention. Music labels, TV networks, and brands saw that people were spending hours on YouTube, and traditional media was losing their monopoly. The shift was visible. Audiences were no longer sitting in front of the TV waiting for scheduled shows. They were choosing their own content, deciding what to watch and when to watch. This independence changed the psychology of viewers forever. By mid-2006, YouTube had become the fifth most visited website in the United States. It was growing faster than anyone could predict. But success also attracted competition and legal issues. Many copyright problems began to appear as users uploaded music, shows, and movies without permission. This was a turning point. Some experts thought YouTube would collapse under lawsuits, while others believed it would adapt and survive. The founders knew that without strong support, they could not handle the storm. And this is where the story takes another dramatic turn, leading to one of the biggest acquisitions in tech history. In late 2006, YouTube's journey took a dramatic turn. Google, already a rising giant, decided to buy the platform. The deal shocked the world. Google paid $1.65 billion in stock for a company less than 2 years old. Some people thought Google had taken a reckless risk. Others believed it was the smartest move in modern tech. For the founders, it was a dream. They had turned a simple idea into a global platform. But for Google, the vision was far greater. They could see video dominating the internet's future. Google's own video service had failed to impress users. YouTube, however, was simple, fun, and already loved worldwide. The acquisition gave YouTube stability and resources. For the first time, survival was no longer the worry. The focus shifted to quality and expansion. Videos became sharper, uploads faster, and storage more reliable. Google's servers kept the platform running smoothly. Traffic no longer felt like a dangerous burden. Then came the big shift: advertising. Brands could finally place ads and revenue began flowing. This opened the door to a new reality. Creators could now earn money directly from their videos. It was the birth of monetization. At first small, but soon it changed everything. For ordinary people, this was a revolution. Anyone with a camera could build an income. Teachers shared lessons, musicians uploaded songs. Gamers recorded playthroughs, comedians posted sketches. The word YouTuber was born. It meant more than a user, it meant a career. Viral culture exploded across the internet. Funny animals, dances, and songs spread worldwide in days. People shared links through emails, blogs, and social media. Suddenly, YouTube was a daily part of life. Traditional media could not stay silent anymore. Celebrities and networks rushed to open their own channels. A teenager with a webcam could rival television. It was a cultural shift no one could ignore. But challenges remained, especially copyright issues. Google built systems to detect and negotiate with companies. This allowed YouTube to keep moving forward. By 2007, it was more than random clips. It had become a global stage for voices, and the world was only beginning to see its power. In the late 2000s, YouTube had become more than a website. It was starting to look like a new culture, a new stage where voices that were never heard before could finally speak. Small creators were uploading simple videos from their bedrooms. And some of those videos were reaching millions of people across the world in just a few days. This kind of reach had never been possible before. Television needed huge budgets, big studios, and connections, but YouTube needed only a camera, an internet connection, and courage. Think about how powerful that shift was. Anyone, no matter where they lived, could share their ideas, their art, or their opinions with a global audience. The world was beginning to see new kinds of celebrities. Not movie stars or singers with record deals, but ordinary people who connected deeply with their audiences. One video could change someone's life forever. It could take a shy student and turn them into an international figure overnight. As YouTube grew, partnerships with creators became a turning point. YouTube started sharing ad revenue, which meant making videos could actually become a career. This was not just entertainment anymore. For many people, it became their livelihood, their full-time job. Their passion turned into a profession. It was also the beginning of a global shift in media. People started spending more time watching YouTube than traditional television, especially the younger generation. And as the audience grew, so did the opportunities. Brands, advertisers, and industries realized that YouTube was not just a hobby site. It was the future of attention. But with success came challenges, too. There were questions about content quality, copyright, and how to handle the massive flood of uploads happening every minute. Still, the vision of YouTube remained steady. The founders and the team believed that giving people freedom to share would open doors to new ideas the world had never seen. By the end of the 2000s, YouTube was no longer just a startup story. It was already shaping the internet, creating jobs, and building dreams for millions of creators worldwide. And this was only the beginning. The true explosion of YouTube culture was waiting just around the corner in the next decade. The new decade brought YouTube into a different universe of growth. By the early 2010s, it was no longer just a place for random uploads. It had become a serious platform where entire careers were being built. Creators started to realize that consistency mattered. Posting regularly, engaging with their audience, and building a personal brand could transform them into household names. This was also the time when new genres of content exploded. Gaming channels, beauty tutorials, educational content, and vlogs all started finding massive audiences. People were no longer watching just for fun. They were learning skills, discovering hobbies, and even starting businesses from the knowledge they gained on YouTube. The platform introduced features that pushed creators further. Monetization options grew, live streaming appeared, and new formats allowed deeper connections with fans. YouTube had turned into a digital stage, and the performers were not limited to actors or musicians. They were everyday people sharing their journeys. Success stories kept inspiring millions. Viewers saw creators who had started with nothing, growing into global figures through hard work and creativity. For many, this was proof that dreams were not reserved for a lucky few. With passion and dedication, anyone could build an audience and make an impact. The early 2010s also showed the power of communities. Subscribers were not just passive viewers. They became loyal supporters who fueled creators' growth. YouTube comments, likes, and shares created an ecosystem of connection. It felt personal, like being part of a global conversation happening in real time. Meanwhile, advertisers understood the opportunity. They wanted to reach the audiences that were spending hours daily on YouTube instead of television. This created a new wave of income for creators. What once seemed like a hobby was now becoming one of the most exciting career paths in the digital age. But success also brought responsibility. YouTube had to balance freedom of expression with the need to keep the platform safe and trustworthy. Policies changed, algorithms evolved, and creators had to adapt quickly. It was not always easy, but it was part of the growing pains of a platform shaping global culture. By the mid-2010s, YouTube had already created its own stars, its own trends, and its own rules. The internet was no longer about reading text or browsing images. It was about video, and YouTube was leading the way. This was the era where the idea of a YouTuber became real, and the world was just beginning to understand how powerful that title would become. By the late 2010s, YouTube had become a global phenomenon. It was no longer just a platform for uploading videos. It had turned into a cultural force. Creators were now recognized internationally. Some were making millions of dollars, while others were influencing social movements and trends. The diversity of content was staggering. From cooking and education to travel, technology, and social commentary, there was something for everyone. Millions of channels were competing for attention, but this competition only pushed creativity further. Creators experimented with storytelling, editing, and new formats to stand out. YouTube also became a hub for learning. People could watch lectures, learn new languages, or develop professional skills, all for free. This was a shift in the way knowledge was shared. No longer was learning confined to classrooms or expensive courses. The platform's influence extended beyond creators and viewers. Brands, governments, and institutions recognized YouTube's reach and power. Monetization strategies evolved as well. Super chats, memberships, sponsored content, and ad revenue gave creators multiple ways to earn. This created a new economy. Entire careers and businesses were built entirely on YouTube. YouTube's evolution was not without challenges. Algorithms, copyright issues, and the need for moderation tested both creators and the platform. Yet the vision remained clear. Giving people the freedom to express themselves while connecting the world through video was the core mission. By 2020, YouTube had over 2 billion monthly active users. It was available in more than 100 countries, supporting dozens of languages. The platform had shaped a new generation of entertainers, educators, and influencers. It had also shown the world that small ideas, when executed with persistence, could become global revolutions. Looking back, it is amazing to realize that a short clip at a zoo was the very first video. From that tiny upload to billions of videos today, YouTube's journey teaches lessons about vision, patience, and adaptation. For creators and learners alike, YouTube continues to inspire. It proves that with consistency, creativity, and courage, anyone can turn a simple idea into something extraordinary. And perhaps the most important lesson is this: even the smallest beginnings can grow into something the world could never have imagined. YouTube is no longer just a website. It is a stage, a classroom, a source of entertainment, and a hub of human connection. Its story reminds us that innovation, persistence, and courage can truly change the world.